A Dragonlance media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Dragonlance Media bringing you another book review today. This is something a little bit different, so I'm going to say cheers. Now, those of you that are fans of the channel know that I absolutely love the Dragonlance novels, starting with, of course, the Chronicles, Dragons of Autumn Twilight, Dragons of Winter Night, and Dragons of Spring Dawning. Moving on to Legends, which is Time of the Twins, War of the Twins, and Test of the Twins. All the way up through many years to the latest novels, Dragons of Deceit, Dragons of Fate, and Dragons of Eternity. Dragonlance is one of my all-time favorite Dungeons and Dragons worlds from back in the TSR days up to the Wizards of the Coast days. So today I am looking at a book that is so near and dear to my heart. The Art of the Dragonlance Saga. You can see on the front we have the Flying Citadel. Now, I got this from Drive-Thru RPG print on demand, but my brother had a copy of this way back in the day, and I would just look at it and marvel at the art inside. It is a truly phenomenal art book, showcasing a lot of my favorite fantasy artists, the most prominent, of course, being Larry Elmore. So today I'm just going to go through and share with you the art that is in this book and why I love it so much. So please stick around for the next episode of
Read a fucking book. Read a fucking book. Read a fucking book. People.
I cannot begin to tell you how much I love this freaking book. This book was a standout of my childhood, just looking at the art that comes from this thing. Brings back so many memories. I mean, even the cover itself with the Flying Citadel and the riders kind of trying to flee from it just is nostalgia overload for me. So, Drive-Thru RPG does a fantastic job. Based on the fantasy bestseller by Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman, edited by Mary Kirchoff, who actually wrote the novel Wanderlust for the Prelude trilogy. And then we get our index. There's the... It's a mixture. This book is a mixture of colored paintings and black and white art. So here you have the black and white art for the Flying Citadel. A lot of text, and then we have kind of like the hand drawings here. We got Tasselhoff, Riverwind, Goldmoon, Sturm. Wow, I can't even remember her name. And then Kitiara. I'll remember it later. An early drawing of Flint. Caraman Raceland. Tara, I think her name was. And then we have the different designs for the Dragonlances in the saddles. Things like that, which is really cool. Tika. I am sorry. That just came to me. That is Tika. She is the waitress at the Inn of the Last Home in Solace at the beginning of Dragons of Autumn Twilight. Tika Whalen. Now we have our Draconians. are the different designs for the Draconians. These are the evil dragon men that are created from the eggs of the good dragons. In D&D, your good dragons are copper, brass, silver, gold. Wow, what is it? Copper, brass, silver, gold, one other metal, and then the evil ones are red, black, blue, white, and green. Wow, I can't even remember. That's disturbing. Bronze. Bronze is the other one. Copper, gold, bronze, silver. Great. Nah, whatever. Anyway, so these are dragon men from the metallic dragon eggs. Created from the metallic dragon eggs, the Draconians. That is an Aurak from the gold dragon eggs, which is really cool. And then there's their weapons and whatnot, their armor. And then we have our first kind of color painting. This is awesome. Here you can see an Aurak Draconian from the gold dragon eggs. They are the most powerful. And in the Dragonlance lore, when a Draconian dies, depending on what color dragon egg it came from, it does something different. Like the Bars Draconians will turn to stone, the Bozax will explode, the Sivax will turn into a pool of acid, all of that kind of cool stuff. Now we have the Dragon High Lords. Oh God, I'm getting a complete nostalgia overload with this one. This is awesome. This is the Red Dragon High Lord Verminard on his Dragon Ember fighting the Dragon Blaze. And this is a Larry Elmore picture. And this is the Dragon High Lord armor design, how it kind of went through the different changes, because a Dragon High Lord needs to be mobile, but also needs to be protected against the weather when they're on the dragons. So this is how the artist kind of went through how to design the armor that would protect the Dragon High Lord themselves. Beautiful picture. Here we go. Now we're getting into the good stuff. This is Sturm Brightblade. There's the Blue Dragon. This is obviously Kitiana. And what's interesting about this, if you actually read the text, is that in the novel, this doesn't take place at night. It takes place during the day, but the artist painted this as if it took place at night. So you get kind of an understanding. Here's Verminard with his dragon. I apologize for using dirty language. Fucking amazing pictures. I love this book so freaking much. Here we see Verminard, his Dragon Ember. That's Viewmaster Toad and Tasselhoof Burfoot, one of the companions of the Lance. And then we have the concept art. Here is the different hands that the artist used to see which would work better, which I really appreciate. When art books do this, when it's not just the art, but it's the concepts as well, it's really cool. The Heroes of the Lance. Here we have Tanis and Lorana. Tanis half-elven, and Lorana being the princess of the Qualinesti elves. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go and read the fucking books. They are awesome. And this is supposed to be Kitiara on her blue dragon. Kitiara being the former lover of Tanis and becoming a dragon high lord. Oh, wow. Now we have the cover of Dragons of Autumn Twilight. We see Tanis Harvelven, Goldmoon, and Sturm Brightblade, a knight of Solamnia. And then we have the art that is featured in the first edition, I should say, Dungeons and Dragons modules for the Dragonlance series. You can play as these characters. Really cool art. This was the art that is typically featured on the earlier novels of Dragons of Autumn and Twilight, but my copy had different art. Here we have Sturm Brightblade, the Knight of Solamnia, and you see a little piece of his death, tragic in Dragons of Winter Night. Riverwind, the Plainsman, the Kyushu Barbarian there. Goldmoon, with the blue crystal staff of Mashakal. She becomes a cleric of Mashakal, who is the goddess of healing, on a Pegasus. Absolutely phenomenal artwork here. Oh, wow. Here we have Caramon, Tanis, Goldmoon, and Flint fighting the Black Dragon in the ruins of the fallen city Zakzaroth. I don't have words for how much this art speaks to me, because these were the pictures I was looking at as a kid growing up. And as a kid, I say like 11, 12, 13 years old, my brother had this book and I would look at it and just marvel at this art. Raceland here with the Lost Ones. This is Raceland and his brother Caramon for the Soulforge. Wow. Oh, my lordy lord. These pictures are so iconic to my childhood. These are the fantasy pictures that I grew up with. I know a lot of people will go, oh, what about the art of Frank Frazetta and whatnot? But this was really the first fantasy art book that I sat down and just reveled in. Raceland, Fist and Dantalus. Raceland is a character that is so ingrained in my psyche. He's a wizard in Dungeons and Dragons mythology. There are three schools of magic: the white robes, which are good, the red robes, which are neutral, and the black robes, which are evil. And Raceland starts out in the beginning of the trilogy as a neutral wizard. He's wearing the red robes. And spoiler alert, as the trilogy progresses, he reverts to the black robes, and then his grab for power kind of moves into the second trilogy of novels, which is Time of the Twins, War of the Twins, Test of the Twins. And the character progression of Raceland is freaking phenomenal. Like, screenwriters need to be studying this character. He is so complex. Like, you can dismiss it. Oh, it's a fantasy book. He's a fucking wizard. No, he's not. It's so much more than that, captured so completely in one single character and that is Raceland Magier. Amazing. Plus, his twin brother, like Raceland is frail and weak, and he's a wizard, and his twin brother is really strong but not as intelligent, and he's a fighter. And then you've got their half-sister, who is Kitiara, who is a dragon high lord. So, come on, Hollywood. Give us that fucking movie. Jeez. All right, rant over. And then we have these beautiful ink drawings. We've got Karaman, his twin brother Raceland. And then we have Beram. I believe this is the first time that Beram was ever included in a painting. He is the Green Gemstone Man, very pivotal to the Dragonlance trilogy, especially Chronicles. Again, Raceland. This is from the novel Test of the Twins. Don't want to spoil much, but they go back in time and Karaman has to fight in an arena, and these are his friends, and he's fighting against a Minotaur. Holy shit, are these books awesome. Now, I have heard criticism about these books. They're generic fantasy, blah, blah, blah. It's just like someone's D&D game. Yeah, it is. It is someone's Dungeons and Dragons game put to paper. But you know what? Sometimes that's what you want. That's what you need. You just need an easy freaking fantasy read without all the morals and ethics and blah, blah, blah. Just enjoy fantasy for the sake of being fantasy. That is it. I understand some people aren't going to like that. That's perfectly fine. You are happy to read whatever you want to read. I honestly don't care what you read. I'm just telling you what I like is this, and this is awesome. So there you go. This is the end of Dragons of Spring Dawning. You can see Tika, Karaman, and Tasselhoff and Raceland turning his back. Really heartbreaking moment in the novels. And this is the cover of Dragons of Spring Dawning. You can see Raceland is wearing the red robes here. However, the artist very cleverly has the shadow going down here so you can see the black, because at the end of the novel he turns to the black robes. Cyan Bloodbane in the background, Tika, and of course Karaman. Leaves from the Inn of the Last Home. This is a representation of the town of Solace, which is the first town referenced in the Chronicles. Here is the Inn of the Last Home, and here it is by the end of the trilogy, smashed by the dragon armies. We see now Karaman, Raceland, and the cleric Chrysania. She is a cleric of Paladine, the god of good, who features prominently in the second trilogy, which is Dragonlance Legends, which you can see here. Time of the Twins, War of the Twins, Death of the Twins. Larry Elmore artwork, and fuck me, you can't tell me this isn't amazing art. Like, this is just phenomenal, and for me, iconic. This is iconic art. This was the art that was on the books when I had them as a trilogy and not an omnibus edition. I don't even know what to say here. It's amazing. We have Chrysania. We have the High Priest of Ishtar. Okay. Tasselhoff, Tanis, Tika, Lorana, Kitiara, and her dragon from the calendar. Oh, man. Just awesome. Okay, hold on. What have we got here? Dragons of Winter Night. This is the second book in the Chronicles. Tassel of Burfoot, the Kenda. Lorana, the elven princess who was kind of in love with Tanis, but then kind of came into her own over the course of the series. The Dragon High Lord Kitiara with her dragon in the background. This was the cover of the second novel. One of the covers of the second novel. Now this picture is just so freaking iconic to me because my brother discovered the Dragonlance trilogy. Like, when we would go down to Penrith to Colour Code bookstore and my parents would let us buy a book, my brother discovered this and he bought, or he got Dragons of Autumn Twilight, and this was the art on the cover of that edition of Dragons of Autumn Twilight. My brother was the one that got me into Dragonlance, that got me loving these characters, because he got this book and he read it. And then he was like, you've got to read this book, which I did. And I fucking loved it. Like, it was beyond anything I could freaking imagine. And this was the cover of that edition. I fucking love this picture so much. So much. But what I love about this art book is it shows you exactly how the artist kind of designed it. He split it up into panels and filled in the panels, and then that became this. Oh, this book, I can't even begin to tell you. Okay, here we have Lorana, the Golden General, and some Draconians guarding her. She's changed up. And then we have the Queen of Darkness, Tarkesis, the five-headed dragon. If you're a fan of Forgotten Realms, you'll know this as Tiamat, the queen that has 5 dragon heads, one of each color: white, red, blue, black, and green, which you can all actually see here. And then we have the ink drawings right there. Oh, white dragon going after the snow boats that are on kind of skis. There we have Lorana. I believe this is after they get the dragon orb and are headed to the city of Tarsus. The Golden General on a silver dragon. I love this stuff so freaking much. Raceland versus Fist and Dantalus. I'm not going to tell you who Fist and Dantalus is. Go off and look it up. He's awesome. This, probably the most heartbreaking picture in the book itself. This comes from a scene in Dragons of Winter Night. After Sturm Brightblade, the Knight of Solamnia, and one of the heroes of the Lance, has been slain by Kitiara, and there is Lorana, the Golden General, standing over his body. I believe Sturm is the first of the heroes of the Lance to fall, but, spoiler alert, not the last. Tragic. Now we have the renditions of Tassel of Burfoot. He is a Kenda in The Dragonlance world, there are no halflings or hobbits or anything like that. Pardon me. The requisite race is, or species, as Wizards of the Coast want to call it now, is the Kender. Now, for me, my iconic view of Tasselhoff is this one, but he has been portrayed by many other artists through the years. And Kender are just an inquisitive, diminutive race of pickpockets, basically. But I prefer kind of this version. I believe this was the cover of one of the SSI Dragonlance video games, but I cannot remember which one. Here we see Tasselhoff, Flint, and Lorana. Flint and Sturm. Flint being a hill dwarf. In Dragonlance, dwarves are either hill dwarves, mountain dwarves, gully dwarves. I believe there's also one other version of dwarves, like the evil ones. And I believe Flint is a hill dwarf. This is his character profile from the D&D modules done by Larry Elmore. Right here. Oh, Lord Soth. How much do I love this character. The Solamnic Knight who betrayed his vows and became undead, Knight of the Black Rose. And here we have Lord Soth's charge with his retinue of knights that followed him into death. I have no words for this picture. It just, I remember looking at this as a kid. It's just awesome. Just awesome. There's Lord Soth. This is from Test of the Twins with Kitiara trying to go to the Tower of High Sorcery in Palanthas. What can you say about this? Like, they are just gorgeous art. Dalamar the Dark, Kitiara. Then we have the portal behind with the 5 dragon heads. Dalamar the Dark being a dark elf who is banished from, I believe, Silvernesty. And tasked by the Towers of High Sorcery, by the white, the red, and the black robes, to spy on Raistlin, because Raistlin is becoming a little too powerful, which he willingly does. Fantastic character. Absolutely fantastic character. Wow, and then we have our minor characters. This is one of my favorite pictures in this book. This portrays the Green Dragon Cyan Bloodbane and Lorak, the king of the Silvernesti elves, trying to use a dragon orb to control Cyan, but it backfires. And when the heroes of the lands go to Silvernesti, they get caught up in Lorak's nightmare. Just fucking phenomenal. I love everything about this picture. Elliston the Cleric, Lord Gunther, the Solamnic Knight. You can see him here with Fizban, and he's on a gold dragon. This is supposed to be a gold dragon. Wow. This one, as well as a kid, you've got Thisben, Gilthanus, and Sylvana, and the Sivak Draconians are flying off from the ship. Oh, my lord. Gilthanus is the Prince of Qualinesti. Sylvana is an elf who is also a silver dragon who guards the tomb of her former lover, Huma Dragonbane. And Gilthanus, it's a doomed romance. Don't think for a minute they hook up and he has dragon babies and that shit. But, oh, wow. I mean, this art by Larry Elmore, come on. And there is Gilthanus. Now, when you look at the Dragonlance series, the Qualinesti elves, there is the elder brother Porthos, the middle son Gilthanus, and the daughter Lorana, who is in love with Tanis Half-Elven, who was adopted by the Speaker of the Suns, and, ultimately leaves and becomes a hero of the Lance. When you read the story behind these characters, they were written where Gilthanus was the elder brother, Porthos was the middle brother or the middle son, and Lorana was the daughter. But they liked the name Gilthanus so much that the authors had to go back through all of their text and switch out Gilthanus for Porthos and Porthos for Gilthanus. And they were like, did we fucking get them all? Holy shit, what happens if we didn't get them all? And they were freaking out. It's absolutely brilliant. Great, great character. And then there's just some miscellaneous stuff. The Forest Master, the White Stags, Tarkesis, Viewmaster Toad, the Hobgoblin Dragon High Lord, the Gully Dwarves, that's Bupu, a little bit of Zakzaroth, Gnomish Inventions, the Sunken City of Ishtar. Ishtar was a city ruled by a high priest who questioned the gods, and the gods were like, you know what? Fuck this shit. But they tasked Lord Soth, the Death Knight, but he wasn't a Death Knight, he was a Knight of Solemnia, Knight of the Rose. They said, hey, go to Ishtar and stop this guy talking shit about us and everything's cool. He didn't, because he was jealous, and he rode back. So Lord Soth was killed and Ishtar was sunken beneath the blood sea. And you can see here, this is the kind of blood sea of Ishtar, and the ship is being sucked in. Heroes of the Lance are on that ship, and they go actually down into the blood sea. Just fucking awesome. Just fucking awesome. Then we got some dragon pictures. And we end on that. And that is the art of the Dragonlance Saga. Now, this is one of the best art books I have seen. One of the best art books I have owned. Not only from a nostalgia point of view, because yes, there is nostalgia here. It is, holy shit, this is like my fantasy childhood in a book. But the art by Larry Elmore and Keith Parkinson, Clyde Caldwell, absolutely phenomenal and well worth your time. I picked this up from Drive-Thru RPG, and I have zero regrets. It is one of the best books that I own, and this is a book that I will never get rid of in my collection at all. I love the nostalgia. I love the art. I love the stories. When you're reading it, it tells you why the artist did what they did, how they did what they did. It's that kind of detail that art books need. And this is one that is staying in my collection until the day I die, in which case it will probably be passed on to Mr. Ian Van Gammon or Dr. Luke Carman. They can fight over it. Duel to the death, Star Trek style. It's up to them. But there you have it. The Art of the Dragonlance Saga. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all that good stuff. But most importantly, stay safe. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And of course,